How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, you G John Cook.
You
Hell. We've been talking ice cream for the last 10 minutes and my brain's gone to shit. Anyway, welcome to the channel. We're here to talk comics, and as ever, I'm joined by my good friend Andy. How are you, sir?
I am absolutely fantastic. A little bit peckish after all that ice cream talk, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I do like it. Anyway, moving on. Phil, how are you,
That
sir?
was a horrible sound.
Yeah, I am
No.
completely full to the belly of ice cream. That's not why we're late, but I'm just saying I was almost late because I was eating ice cream.
What flavour ice cream did you have again?
To be fair, I'm going to get stick for this. Like I
that's why I'm asking.
I like loads of things, but I also like just a plain old fashioned like mint choc chip. Surely that's okay. No?
That's okay. Have you ever had a Shamrock Shake in America?
No.
Which is basically just that ice cream liquidized. It's like fucking heaven's nectar. It's beautiful.
I thought
Heaven's nectar.
Shamrock Shake was something you got in the bathrooms in gay bars in Ireland. Is that not? Is that something?
Wow.
You can solve the whole nation. Yeah, no problem.
Ben, nice to see you back.
On that
Nice
note.
to see you back. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. This is weird, isn't it? But no, I'm happy to be back, and I'm looking forward just to kind of going back to my roots a bit and just talking about some bloody comic books for a while.
Absolutely.
It's been a while, so and I'm sharing the screen with my old Killer Comics compadre. So
I was just about to say, is that like Charlie and that's Tom next to us? It's like,
oh
on.
Jesus,
Am I Tom?
No, hold on. Like, shouldn't
No,
actually, Tom.
I mean,
time hasn't been kind to them, has it?
Okay, guys. So, as Ben said, we are here because basically me and Andy had a chat a couple of weeks ago about how we missed talking about just comics. I've gone into very much toys and movies and stuff like that. Don't talk about comics a lot. So that's what we're going to do on this show. We've picked 5 books that we've all read. Well, 4 because 1 we couldn't find. And then we've got some other books just to kind of briefly mention. Before we do that, we'll just quickly check on the chat. So we've got good old StreamYard. Thank you for joining. We've got Jack. Thank you very much for joining, Jack. Always a pleasure, mate. Andy, keeping the chat informed, discussing ice cream. We've got Fuzzy. The diva is back. Not sure who he's referring to there. Of course it's late. Yeah. James T. All right, who's late? I think people can probably guess. Let's just say, Ben, that your computer hadn't been used for streaming for a while, so it took a little while to kind of update.
My computer literally went, what the fuck? What's going on? You're supposed to be this gets switched off at 5 o'clock, and so
you're doing what? YouTube?
And we've got GP. Thank you very much for joining, bud. Who else have we got in the chat? James T. Oh, we've got Efren. Thank you for joining, Efren. Let's go. There's better not delay our videos in 2 hours. Yeah, we're going live in 2 hours as well. Yeah. James T. 6 minutes late. Not impressed. He's on form tonight. We've got...
His bloody internet never works when he's on anyway.
I was going to say, yeah, even when James is streaming, it's not working.
Exactly.
Dead Man still playing with Lego, probably. Yeah, God, fucking hate Lego. Let's see who else. There's lots and lots of chat going. James T. Flawless start. Thank you, James. Yeah. Oh, and we've got Connie. Oh my joy. Oh my God, it's the nerds. Yeah. We've got my mate Austin. Hi, Austin. Thanks for joining, bud.
Have you had a drink tonight?
You what?
Have you had a drink?
I've had a. I had a. What did I have? I had a can of cider. It was bloody horrible, wasn't it? Nice.
Outrageous.
We've got Pad Bear. It's either that or my stroke's kicking in and I've just, I can't speak anymore.
I cannot speak anymore.
That's Geordie. I cannot speak. That's Scottish.
The worst thing is you are hosting the stream, so if that happens, we can't turn it off. We just have to watch it happen.
Think of the content. Think of the views. I mean, it's incredible. We've got Kenneth. Thank you very much for joining, Kenneth. Appreciate you coming. Fuzzy, Ben's computer had to do a risk assessment, but we'll allow him back on. Okay, I think that's everybody. Okay, guys, thank you very much for sorry, distracted slightly there because I noticed Phil taking a drink in the foam, just kind of coating his tash nicely. It was nice, that, Phil. I like that.
Oh, that looks... I don't even like lager, but that looks nice.
Oh, yes, they.
Okay, right. Let's talk some comic books. Before we do that, I just want to quickly mention a few streams and things I've got going on over the next few days.
A few.
Be here a while. Myself, Efren, and James Keegan did the top 3 comedies on Monday. Go check that out. That was great fun. Really enjoyed that. A topic I think we'll revisit because it was a good laugh. And thank you for the chat's involvement. It was good fun. Straight after this show, 10 o'clock, we're going to do a live mystery pack unboxing and giveaways. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about some recent movies that we've not heard Ben's opinions on yet. So
It's going to
interesting.
get spicy.
Let's see how that goes. And we'll touch a little bit on some recent comic book related news. I'm going to be on this show tomorrow. This is Simple Simon over on YouTube. And I'm doing his collectibles show. That's 12 o'clock midday UK time. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, give that a watch. Saturday, we've got Ben on This My. Really looking forward to this. We're going to be kind of learning a little bit more about the attention-seeking geek. And Ben's going to be showing us some of the things in his collection.
My favourite subject matter, me.
So that should be fun. Looking forward to that one. And then on Monday, we've got Let's Talk Toys with Luke, Simon, and James. So again, that should be fun. And as usual, my shout out to the UK YouTube community. We've got This Week in Metropolis, the Nerd Herd. Phil, what are you reviewing this week? Is it the Kieran Gillen book, isn't it?
Yeah, volume 3 of Once and Future.
Yeah,
So that will complete this glorious hardcover.
It's a lovely book, that one. Yeah, good. Looking forward to that. I love that series. Andy, what's the spotlight on Killers on Thursday?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Keep going.
You're supposed to promote your own show, man. Bat Dan, thank you very much for joining, bud. Anyway, I'll promote it. Thursday night's a Killer Comic Show with some guys talking comics, and they'll do a spotlight on some. It's Charlie's turn, is it not?
It's Wolverine, I believe.
Who?
Wolverine.
Charlie doing Wolverine. He's going to be like, oh, he's got some claws, and he heals.
He's ferocious, in it.
Then on Saturdays, we've got the Grey Man for Cover Slingers. Okay, guys, let's talk some comics. I'll crack straight off with this. So, Nightwing, who's read it? Ben, did you get a chance to read this one?
I didn't read it, and I'll tell you why I didn't read it. Because I haven't read the 104 issues that came before it.
Okay.
I'm like, I've just not. I wouldn't even know where to start.
So, Andy, you've not read Nightwing before, have you?
Haven't read
Okay.
a thing, and I read this on the back of Phil suggesting that it was kind of like a special issue because it was like a almost a bit gimmicky. It was from the
Yeah.
perspective of Nightwing.
Yeah.
So I
that's
dived
cool.
into it. Yeah, well, you would think. I dived into it, and the one question before I even kick off what I thought about it was, Phil, the story is this what the previous sort of 104 issues have been like?
So I am slightly behind on my Nightwing run, but Tom Taylor took over at issue 79, so it's not 104. It's just 26 or something or whatever.
Okay.
You do. So
Yeah.
not that far behind, but behind enough. This is the kind of one that the story doesn't really matter. It's not playing a major part in the overall run. They did do like a gimmicky thing in a previous issue. I forget, maybe it was 90 or 91 or something, where it was all one continuous scene. So for the 26 pages, it was just like Nightwing swinging, building, going through the building, fighting crime, whatever. And actually, Andy, if you ever go to Coffee and Heroes, you'll see Alan has them cut out and put on the floor. So just one continuous scene. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought, because that was a big issue, and I thought this could be the same, and it wasn't. It didn't carry the same weight as that gimmicky issue had before.
I did enjoy the gimmick, mate. It took us a while to figure out what was going on at the start. I didn't realize that that's what the gimmick was, that you're basically seeing through his eyes. But I did like all these kind of scenes where you saw him reflected in panels and things. I haven't read Nightwing for a long, long time. Or Batman titles, really. That's Barbara Gordon. Is that Batgirl? Yeah. She's very strange to what I remember. So she's not Oracle anymore. She's back to being like proper Batgirl, is she?
Yes. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but somehow she, I don't know, got a cure or something to help her be able to mobilize as before. I'm not sure how. So now she's given up the Oracle. She still does it, but she comes back as Batgirl. and of course it's Dick's love interest.
Yeah.
That's kind of why she's there too a wee bit, you know.
The story for me was that kind of a like meh that all passed
Very,
me. I didn't
very
really
basic.
care.
It felt like an annual, didn't like an annual story. Like
It
something
felt,
you know,
it felt a bit like an annual, but they had such an opportunity here from like that sort of first person perspective to make this really cool. Like, I wanted to see Nightwing in the toilet and at nighttime and in the bed and see all the things that you'd never see before.
you wanted to
didn't
see
get
Dick
that.
I mean,
Grayson.
that took an unexpected turn, Andy. I have to be honest.
Listen,
I wasn't.
Hey,
Do you remember that
comments-
music video that was like, it was like someone going on like an absolute bender and getting in fights and doing drugs and that, and you kind of presume that it's a dude, and then you see the reflection. It's this,
Oh, no.
you know, sort of small lady. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
That
a fly on
Spice
the wall
Girls episode,
perspective.
was it? Or was that?
yeah.
Prodigy, wasn't it? Was it
Was
Prodigy?
it Prodigy?
Was
So
it?
it's the smack my bitch up.
Yeah,
video.
that's what it is, isn't it?
There you go.
Anyway, so overall, this issue, like I say, it's told through his eyes. It's got nondescript villains in it, and some bizarre decisions. Like he goes to a pharmaceutical company, who are the big bads, and the guy offers him a glass of water, and he drinks it straight away. I mean,
Yeah.
world's great detective. I'm kind of thinking, really, is that, you know?
The other thing was too, like the two, I'm terrible remembering the names, the details, but the two girls who were twins, who were the
Yeah.
bad guys, who they were summoned to go, they were hijacking a train or something. They just told Nightwing, "Oh, we're the good guys," and straight away it was like, "Okay, I believe you." So there was again no investigation. There's just a quick jump to that, and I understand in good faith and all that kind of stuff. But surely, like these guys are hijacking a train. There should be a bit of a fight or something. There should be more to it than just believing this person's the good guy because they say so.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, guys, I liked the gimmick. Did it make us want to pick up next issue? Absolutely not. I don't know what you guys felt.
It didn't make me want to go and read the other issues because I'd heard so many good things about like from issue 80 or 89 onwards.
Yeah, to be fair, this is not a good reflection on the run. This is probably DC's best book currently. I'll say that.
Okie dokie.
What a shame, because I love the idea of the gimmick.
Yeah.
Well, it could be really interesting if a book completely committed to that idea and the whole run is first person.
Yeah.
Be really interested in it.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
I did find things like when he was reaching for he was reaching for something, and even when it's just like an odd placement for his arm or something, it didn't quite fit in correctly or whatever. And even whenever that's the scene where he landed on the building, almost like Spider-Man-esque.
Yeah.
His reflection, and the
that's one of
speed
my
was like
favourite
this
scenes.
far away from his.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit right, really.
It felt a little bit of style over substance, and if you look at that left-hand panel, then why can't he see through the white bits in his eyes? Surely you should be able to see the city behind that.
That's a good point.
Moving
Good
on.
night, guys.
Briefly touch on these guys. Has anybody read any of these three? Superman book. I know you have read this, Andy. You love a bit of Superman.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So just to touch on this is Titans #2. So this is the reboot of the series. Starts off with Wally West being found dead in Titans Tower. It was all right. It just felt like a bit of a rehash. Nothing new there really. The what do you call them? Brother Blood are back, but calling themselves something different. It felt very much old school Titans. It was enjoyable enough. I'll probably pick up issue 3 because I do like that old.
Why do they keep killing Wally West? Like what?
I don't know. No idea. I mean, he gets better. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? He gets shot in the heart and he's dead. But he's in the next panel. So yeah, that's all right. Wonder Woman 800. Anybody pick this one up? This might be for those of you out there who are bits of investors. This might be a one to get. So
I had a peek at it,
yeah,
but then I saw that it was multiple stories and just rolled my eyes and
absolutely, yeah, Ben, you're right. So the first tale in it is kind of a retelling of how other characters see Wonder Woman. So she's basically been put into a trance by the oracles or whatever. And she visits Batman and Crime Alley, and he tells her, "Oh, you're great," all this kind of shit. So the first story's trash, not my cup of tea at all. The second story, but is set in the future, and it's got Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne as Superman and Batman, and I think it's our first introduction of Trinity, who's Wonder Woman's daughter in the future, and has got 3 lassos. She's got the gold lasso, the white lasso, and the black lasso. That was really interesting, and it spills into the next Wonder Woman reboot, I think. But actually, I quite liked the Trinity character, so so I don't know if she's going to play a big part in the DCU going forward, but it was worth a read.
From what I've read, so she will play a part in the Wonder Woman run, but the way DC have the main story, then a wee extra story at the end.
Ah, right.
So I think she's going to be the main character for the second story of the books.
Yeah, I mean, she was quite good. So I'll probably will I pick it up? No, I'll not pick it up. I don't think I'll.
The thing about the Wonder Woman, if you did pick it up in single issues, they always have glorious variant covers for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I'm definitely up for some triple lasso action though. That sounds.
I love a bit of.
I'm trying to work out how that. Does she do one with her leg?
It's her hips. She does her hips.
Oh.
Yeah. Superman. I'm enjoying Superman.
like.
I know he gets a lot of stick, and I know most of you guys aren't big fans, but this run of Superman's not bad. It's not great either, but it's not
Way
bad.
to sell it.
Yeah. In this one, Jimmy Olsen has started a relationship with the Silver Banshee, as you do. And all these villains are being kind of manipulated by a secret villain who you don't know who he is yet. So yeah, it was all right. I wouldn't necessarily rush out to get it.
What's the deal with this Dawn of DC labeling? Is that an event?
Just the new reboot, Ben. So it's just the latest in many reboots. Yeah. But interestingly, it's kind of resetting a lot of the characters back to their original kind of runs pre-52 in terms of style of storytelling. I think.
So, like the canon for DC is
it's mental. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, Incredible Hulk #1. Ben, did you read this one?
I did.
Tell a little bit about this book.
So it's funny. I don't know whether I was kind of just a bit fatigued because I'd already read like a few comics. When I went to read it initially, I just struggled a bit, and I found myself skimming, and I was just like, put it down. I had to put it down, And then I went back to it and really kind of gave it the time and attention. I'm so glad I did because I really like this. It felt like very simple in terms of kind of Bruce Banner's experience in this one book, and that was exactly what I wanted after the whole Donny Cates robot subconscious weird inner battle thing that was going on that just completely missed the mark, I think, for a lot of people. So I like that element of it. The horror element of it was again sort of very similar to that kind of Immortal Hulk, the sort of beginning of that story, and even this panel here with the girl's face kind of splitting in two, and the way that he transformed into the Hulk in this, I absolutely loved. And yeah, just the idea. So what's the crack that these monsters are gonna serve this kind of queen of the monsters, and she's gonna
Hulk's body sort of unleashes the mother of horrors, I think it was.
Yeah,
mother of horrors. Excited to see Man Thing as well with the little tease there. So that would be cool. Yeah, I liked it.
I think Mother of Horrors goes back to an older character. I can't remember. It's Lilith from the old Midnight Suns run. And I think she's got kind of control over all monster-based creatures in the Marvel Universe. They kind of all got to do her bidding. I absolutely loved this. Loved Immortal Hulk. Hated Starship Hulk. But then this, I just thought was superb. And like you said, but I thought I didn't use the image, but on the kind of the panel preceding this is where the girl's head just turns and is facing. I thought it was stunning. Yeah, I really, really like this. Very good work. What about yourself, Phil? Did you like this one?
Yeah, I liked it. And someone mentioned there was a good entry point. It kind of is, but also you can't be aware of what happened, I suppose, with the Al Ewing run. Like, what is the green door,
Yeah.
And why is it shut? Or is it left open? Who knows? But same as Ben, the Donny Cates should have that potential to be great, but it just got too weird. Yeah. So I'm quite glad this is going back to like the horror element, because that Immortal Hulk run was is it the right word? The seminal run, up to say, isn't it? Like, it's like the main. That's going to be the landmark run on the Hulk for a long time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And it was always hard to follow it, but this is what it should have been instead of what we did get for 14 issues. So yeah, this was great. I like the monsters, the horror aspect. Nick Klein, by the way, who I really like his art. He's on the Thor book as well with Donny Cates. His art's superb. It's dark and gritty looking. It's a bit strange looking, but it's great. I really enjoyed
the
the
design of the monster was so original. Like I'd kind of not really seen anything. It gave me a little bit vibes of have you ever seen The Ritual?
Yeah.
Of that weird creature at the end, like just the kind of abstractness of it all. But really cool.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at the imagery and trying to figure out when it was chasing that through the woods. I was thinking, where's its legs? Has it got? It doesn't look like it's got back legs, and it was
on
weird.
the back page. There was a character model sheet, and it's basically literally just got like 2 pin legs. Basically, like it looks really odd and very cool.
What about yourself, Andy? Did you like this one?
Yeah, I really, really, really liked it. Hopefully, this is going to be the one that we review on the Killer Comics show. Phil Johnson's kind of known for being that writer that comes in and fixes things. And let's just say he probably had one of the hardest jobs, given the fact that, kind of Donny Cates and Ryan Ottley had spewed out what they spewed out. And then we obviously had Al Ewing doing his sort of metaphysical stuff with the Hulk. Whenever I go into a book about the Hulk, when I first started reading this, I thought, oh, we're not going to get like another story about a tortured soul and all that good stuff. It kind of puts me off the Hulk. I just want to see the Hulk kicking ass. But what we seem to be getting with this issue and this run is not only Hulk eventually kicking ass, but he's going to do it against a bunch of like favorite horror characters that we know and love. I thought the artwork was superb. It was obviously very in keeping with that sort of horror theme. The one thing I didn't get, and I think maybe Phil had alluded to it, is that if you don't know about the Green Door and stuff like that, there wasn't any like those little asterisks and then go see this comic or this page and this.
Yeah, I forgot, to be honest, what the Green Door meant. Yeah. So I kind of did read that bit and was just like, I've completely forgot what that's all about.
And then if you don't know those characters, I like even like Ghost Rider and stuff like that, because I had to like take a double look to go, all right, okay, I get who that is now. But it kind of like opens up your imagination as to what other characters are they going to bring into this comic, because it kind of feels like that this book is their oyster, as it were. They can do whatever they like. But lastly, I love the fact that they sort of, if you read the page, like the forward after the book is finished, your guy Johnson actually talks about the fact that Stan Lee on the first page and the first cover, is it man or is it monster? He's basically said, well, I'm going to look at it from a monster perspective. This character is an absolute monster, and I'm going to show you why. So really intriguing. I loved it.
I think you're right, Andy, and I think you touched on it before there. When I read a Hulk comic, it's a bit like how I want Hulk in the Marvel Universe movies, because I don't like how Hulk is at the moment. I want to see him cutting loose, and I want to see him going crazy and hitting things and ripping things to shreds. Putting him in this kind of universe and looking at that art style there on that image, I can see this getting really quite graphic, and there's no reason for Hulk to hold back, if you know what I mean. If he's fighting not the established monsters like Man-Thing and stuff, perhaps, but like you can throw as many of this kind of creature at him as you want and have him destroyed in various ways.
He's not fighting his mind. I think that's the thing on this book. He's not fighting his mind anymore. That's what we all know about that. That's done and dusted. It's like who can go up against the Hulk and potentially beat him.
Because for me, like it's sorry, Peter. Like it's simple with Hulk, right? We just want to see him fight another monster or whatever. Like, so this perfectly sets that up, that every week we can just get a different monster or whatever, and you can slightly progress the story. And I'm well up for 10 issues, 10 different monsters, fight of the week. Bring it on.
Absolutely. Did anybody else have a bit of a fleeting pang when they thought that Hulk had killed the dog in the diner? Do you know when Bruce Banner wakes up and there's the dog creature lying next to him? I thought that had been the puppy he'd been patting in the diner beforehand. Did nobody else think that?
I
missed that. Completely missed that.
So in the diner, he's kind of saying hello to the dog, and he gives it a bit of whatever. And then when he wakes up as Bruce Banner, there's a dog-like, I'm presuming it's a coyote or something. There's a dog-like creature lying next to him, and just for that fleeting second, I thought, oh shit, he's
like Lenny the dog from Off Mice and Men. Just like
Will we see that dog in issue 2, and it's actually a werewolf?
Oh, is that right?
Andy, stop it! You're wasted, mate. I really liked, and I don't know because I didn't catch the back end of the Immortal Hulk run, but is that new the element that the Hulk is talking to him through other people? Because I really enjoyed that the Hulk kind of taunting Banner was like through the woman. Do you know what I mean? In his obviously in his head, but that was
He was
shit.
talking to him in mirrors and things like that, but I don't remember seeing other people talk back to him as the Hulk. They did as the leader and things like that, but yeah, I thought that was very cool. Right, guys, just before we move on, I just want to quickly jump back into the chat. We've got Von Hoot here. Maniac remake is all first person as well. I've been enjoying that. Dr. Von Hoot, it's a good series, that one.
Oh, of Maniac in New York. Oh, really?
Yeah, very cool. They've
get back on
done
that.
I think it must be on is it volume 3 or 4 now, I think maybe.
Really? Gosh. Well,
Bat Dixon, really recommend from issue 78 when Tom Taylor takes over. It's been a lot of fun. Not read the latest issue yet. Yeah, I might have a go at that. Hardcore Henry too, right?
That's a film, yeah, with the first person. It's like a robot dude.
Yeah. Jack, only thing I don't like of late is I'm a few behind now, but they try to make it a Titans book. Yeah, that's Nightwing he's talking about. So Dick's kind of become one of the premier heroes. Didn't he take over as the Justice League lead as well at some point? Can't remember. The Superman is super fun right now. Easily the most interesting he's been in years. Yep, I agree, mate. The latest Superman figure from McFarlane Toys has been absolutely hysterical face sculpt. I've not seen that one. I'll have to have a look at that one. Send us an image, Fuzzy, if you've got it, and we'll use it for Monday. GP, been looking forward to reading this one. Ain't a Hulk fan, but read this and it was really good. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was superb. My comics don't get delivered until tomorrow, so I can't actually add anything of substance. I hope we're not spoiling it for you, Fuzzy, but stay watching.
He says it like he adds things of substance, usually, you know. Like
he says it like we have things of substance they add, like we don't either. Like.
True.
Did it with Superman, now it's Hulk turn for rehab. Yeah. Okay, guys, moving on. What else? I just want to touch on these very briefly. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, part of the Carnage Reigns. Anybody reading Miles at the moment? This is friggin' bonkers. Phil, I don't know if you're reading it because I know you're into your Venom and things like that. At some point in the past, Carnage has managed to get Tony Stark's, what do you call it? Howie, Ben, what's the
reactor?
No, the in his blood. When he could get his armor out of his blood and all that kind of stuff.
The Extremis.
Yeah. So Carnage is now able to control all robots or something as well and do all kinds of weird stuff.
So have you read all of these? Peter?
No, dear God, no. I started reading it a month or two ago, and regretted it.
My brain would just explode.
Yeah, it's just every page is just a mass of stuff, and it ends. Spoilers. It ends with Miles getting his version of the Iron Spider costume. Tony basically gives him the Iron Spider costume. It's like, oh, lovely. There's another action figure. So yeah, I wouldn't pick up this one. Hellcat, I've been absolutely loving, and I've got no idea why. Because why the shit would I be reading Hellcat? I've got no interest in the character. But this 5-issue miniseries has been superb. It's got Sleepwalker in it. It's got Damien Hellstrom. Yeah, I don't understand why I'm interested in this character.
Just listed all the characters I don't care about.
Yeah, or me neither. Yeah, but it's a fun read.
How terrible is the trade dress on that Hellcat? Like,
it's awful.
Like it's as if they just gave up.
Yeah.
I think Christopher Cantwell in the last couple of years I haven't read his stuff myself personally. There's a lot of people would say his work recently has been pretty good.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason why you're enjoying it. Just a good, competent writer for once.
I think that's probably it, Phil. It's and Jack's saying it here. It's simple. Yeah, it's just a nice story. Do you know what I mean? And it's got as interest in the character Patsy that I've never had any interest, even when she was in the bloody TV show Alias or whatever it was. Yeah, interesting. Ben, I know you've been reading X-Force. Tell a little bit about this one.
I'm really enjoying this again, and it's great because I kind of dropped off it for a little while and wasn't enjoying it as much. To be honest, it was when Quentin Quire died, and I was very miffed. I don't know if you remember, I was very upset about it.
I remember you being
the only person. But they've sort of brought him back in this old man. this is like vintage alternative future, alternative reality X-Men stuff, which is always really, really fun. Having Deadpool as part of the team at the moment is obviously brings the Deadpool laughs and stuff. Domino Colossus, like this team is often comprised of a lot of my favorite characters, so I'm not really sure why Omega Red's there, to be honest. I don't.
So sorry to interrupt, Ben. So I'm a bit out of touch with my Omega Red storyline. Has he got a healing factor? Because at one point in this book, it looks like his face has been melted off and he's dead. And then the next panel, he's.
I think he's always had that because of the Weapon X stuff. Like he's got links to all of that. I think, and a history with like Maverick and Wolverine and things. But and I really like exploring this sinister side to Beast character and this kind of alternative version of Beast, or not so alternative. I think it'll reveal itself to be. So yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. The artwork's a little bit inconsistent, but yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. Out of all the X titles, because I am trying to keep reading some of them, this is one of
It's the best of a bad
ones.
bunch. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But you don't need to know who thousands of different characters are and what the backstory to the plant on Krakoa, which is now Green City, or whatever shit. It's quite an easy pick up and read a story. So yeah, I don't mind that one. Andy, can't stop thinking about ice cream. Yeah, Fuzzy just showing a bit of a love a Twister. I like a Twister, Fuzzy, but what I like to do.
Yeah, that's the fifth time you've made that sound. I swear to God, if you reach 6.
I like to get my tongue and I like to go around the Twister lolly and get all the ice cream out. Do you know what I mean? Look at Andy's face. Do you know what I mean?
Your poor fucking kids sit there and watch you do
you're
that.
Left.
To your
I mean, I'd live stream it. Let's be honest.
Peter, that's called foreplay.
Yeah. And then you just have the solid, juicy ice lolly. Do you know what I mean?
Lice?
But yeah, Fuzzy's going to have to go for a McFlurry if we don't stop talking about it.
Does anybody want to know my thoughts on X-Force?
Have you read it?
I don't have any. I don't have any. Any book that starts with X, I stay well away from. X-Force, X-Men.
I mean, that's.
I'm not too dissimilar to that because I really try to get into X-Men with the Jonathan Hickman run. But then it just like every other X title, it gets too big, too fast, and all these like X-Force started off really well. I really like Domino. I think she's really cool.
Yeah.
But then it just became mental. You had to buy like 16 books a week just to catch up on what was going on, and I just couldn't do it.
I'm with you, Phil. I'm with you. And you know what? I love Hickman's work, and we'll talk about him in a bit. But I'm getting really sick of reading his books, and like every other page is like a full page of explanation text rather than a comic page. Do you know what I mean? It's like I cannot be chewed to read that in too much detail.
Yeah, we didn't get into comics for words because otherwise we just read books. Do you know?
Give us colourful pictures. That's what I'm there for. Do you know what I mean? Hi, Brian. So yeah, not a fan of that. Speaking of them. Ultimate Invasion. Andy, why don't you tell Will a little bit about this one? Your thoughts on this?
Sure. So Jonathan Hickman doing writing duties, Brian Hitch doing art. I have not read any of the other invasions, any of the other Ultimate Invasion stuff, and so I was going into this fresh, a little bit like Nightwing fresh, if you will. And the premise of this is kind of a set 2 months after the Maker, who I had to Google to find out who was the ultimate Reed Richards. I sort of got that from the artwork though. And he sort of breaks out of is it Blackguard, the Blackguard building, and ultimately this story sort of begins where the Black Panther and Reed Richards are sort of colluding with the rest. Who's that big team called? Tell me the team again.
Illuminati.
Yeah. So they're building a plan as to how they're going to stop the Maker from effectively either changing a world or what it looks to be as if they're creating a new world. And my first thoughts is it felt kind of like it might have been done before this. It felt a strange place to put this book out Like, there's been no build-up as far as I'm aware,
Yeah.
unless you guys can tell me otherwise.
To be fair, I haven't read a lot of the Ultimate Universe stuff. Like, I read some Ultimate Spider-Man and the Ultimates, and I haven't read it all. But from what I understand, the Ultimate Universes were destroyed, apart from Miles and the Maker. They're the only two remaining people from it. So he obviously wants to remake this in his own way. Hence why he prevented the spider from biting Peter Parker at the end. He's now going to be the god to create what happens in this new Ultimate Universe, I'm assuming.
So is this the leftovers from Secret Wars in that case?
Yeah,
yes,
so
that's what it is, yeah.
You had the Ultimate Universe, which had some wildly successful books, and then they had some crap books. Ultimate Fantastic Four wasn't bad, to be honest. The Ultimates got worse as it went on, sadly.
Volume 1 and Volume 2 were like
superb, and then it turned bizarre. I mean, you had Wanda and Piotr.
Oh, I liked those.
You like them having sex?
Scarlet
Witch and her brother were in a sexual relationship. It got
that wasn't
all
in Volume 2.
No, that was in Volume 3. Yeah.
Oh Jesus, I'm glad I stopped.
Yeah, it got very weird. And basically they decided to get rid of it. So they had Secret Wars, and at the end of that, it was all destroyed. So how he's gone back in time to start or whatever, I don't know. I've read a lot of the Ultimate stuff, but I was confused with this. I didn't understand what was going on. Ben, did you read it?
Yeah, I read the words, but I don't I don't know what they meant. It was it was a slog, man. Like, and I get it, like it's the Maker talking a lot of the time and stuff, and just the way that Reed Richards talks, you automatically kind of zone out a bit. So it was kind of true to the character, I guess. But as a reader, it was just far too kind of exposition-y, wordy, and ultimately, pun intended, confusing. I love Brian Hitch's artwork though. Like I could just look at the panels, forever. That was fine. Also, it's not that villainous a plan, really. Like, his universe died. He just wants to go home.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
That's
he goes
the
to Miles.
least.
Do you want to come home? Yeah.
Listen, have you seen the skin-tight costume that he was wearing and that stupid helmet? That's the least of his problems.
I can't remember what the deal with the helmet was. I don't know if it was because he'd stretched his skull to increase his brain capacity or something ridiculous like that.
Now, if Hickman doesn't have a scene where Xavier and him are opposite each other and address the fact that their outfits are very similar right now.
Can I just say, I hate that. I hate that look for Xavier, the black bodysuit and the Cerebro. I don't understand what's happened to him.
I like it. It's different. See that scene, by the way. Like, that was a really cool scene where the four guys were in to break him out, and obviously he used their kind of bodies to merge into one as his, but because it was like a different person, I'm assuming that's why it didn't stay.
Didn't work.
The integrity
rule that was like hanging out the mouth.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool.
I mean, you know what? I'll read issue 2. I loved the artwork. I loved that scene with the kind of the guys at the start breaking into frame and stuff like that. I thought once the superheroes got involved, that's when I lost my interest, to be honest.
It felt like the prelude, like the first 5 or 6 pages, was a real cracking setup, and it was something that I was really looking forward to. And then it had this weird transition where it went to Miles Morales' bedroom.
Yeah.
And your man, the Maker, has basically saying, "Oh, by the way, we're brothers. Come join me in this other planet," and gave him a card, which when he left was blank.
Yeah.
Did anyone else cringe when the white guy called a black dude brother?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That
tell you what
over
else.
my head. I missed that.
Me too. I didn't know if he meant brothers with like blood, or like you're saying like my brother type of, you know what I mean? I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know what.
No, get his bed to it. And I tell you what else made us cringe. The blurb for this, the kind of the promotional stuff, is saying, the last Ultimate Universe gave us Miles Morales. Will this do the same? Fuck off. It's like blatant kind of buy the book because we might give you a sexy new character or something, which I don't like. Overall, will you be picking up issue 2? Start with you, Andy.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, I don't think I'll bother. I mean, you're going to read issue 2, 24 issues, so if you're halfway there, you might as well finish the lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd be interested in it.
What about you, Ben?
It's going to be a skimmer for me. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I need to know what's going on, so I will glance at issue 2. But if it's as, if it's laid out, let's say in the same way, then I certainly won't be kind of giving it my time.
Cool. Right, guys, just going to quickly jump into the chat again. We've got Jack. You read Avengers this week? I have, mate, and I'll mention it in a second. Dr. Von Hoot couldn't agree more. The more words, the more work. It's bloody visual medium. That's how you tell a story visually. Yeah.
Because that Hickman book, you want to enjoy Brian Hitch's work, and you kind of can't in a lot of panels because there's fucking speech bubbles everywhere.
Yeah. Absolutely. Pat Bear, new X title should be called Unholy X. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'd probably read it as well. We'll catch up on the replay. Thank you very much, mate. Welcome back, Ben. That's nice.
Cheers, Al.
Fuzzy, talking about poor trade dress, that's no better whatsoever. Yeah, you're right, Fuzzy. The trade dress in the Ultimate book is pretty shit. Jackson, he loves the Ultimate movie. Yeah, I enjoy that one as well, but it's very cool. I have the Xavier figure with a cerebral head. It's so poor. Yeah. I'm seeing the animated Ultimate film's good. The second one's not so good, but the first one's got a good battle.
The second
scene.
one's got Black Panther in it. It was amazing.
Yeah, but it's got some kind of, I don't know, it deviates completely from the Ultimates. I guess if you watch it and not thinking it's an Ultimate movie, it's all right. Okay, let's see what else we've got to talk about. Avengers. So anybody read Avengers issue number 2?
Yes.
What did you think of it, Phil?
I really enjoy it. Saying that I like the Jason Aaron run, so I read it. I enjoyed it. This is obviously slightly different. So this is where Captain Marvel is the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And she gets kind of sent to through this portal, and Kang is there, but Kang is dying. And he basically bribes her with I'll give you these 1,000 lives that are due to die. You'll save them, so you'll know I mean business, so to speak. So this issue's about various teams of the Avengers going to these locations given by Kang and saving 1,000 people, because he's saying there's so much more to come. Here's the half a dozen other crises, or whatever you want to call them, due to hit Earth. But I want you to stop this other guy who I can't think of his name. Some strange name.
I can't remember.
Because essentially there's some sort of extra force that Kang wanted. This other guy wants. Kang can't have it. Therefore, Kang wants to prevent this guy from getting it. Maybe I'm not selling it too well with my lack of actual descriptive words. But
ice cream.
Ice cream. Yeah, it was just thoroughly entertaining. I really enjoyed it. And Jed McKay, to be fair, again, the last couple of years, he's done Black Cat. He's done what's the Black Cat and what's Spider-Man's girlfriend called? Red Hair. Mary Jane. So he's done all those kind of books. So and under the radar, but he's a really good writer in my opinion. So Jed McKay's good. I like this. The Avengers is good.
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. And this is on the back of, I can't remember if it was Timeless or something like that, but it was a one shot which showed Kang getting beat up and whatnot. I thought it was a really, really interesting story. There was a couple of, and you might say it's cheesy, but when they're trying to save these people, like Phil mentions, there's a truck driver who's taken medical supplies, and he's done so many routes that he's exhausted, but he knows his medical supplies have got to get to the people, or people are going to die. So he's taken kind of uppers and things and caffeine tablets or whatever to try and keep them going. And there's this great scene where Falcon, Captain America, kind of intercepts him and says, no, if you take this truck, you're going to go off the road and kill this train full of people, which is what Kang has told him. So the guy kind of says, but if without the medicine, people are going to die. And you think it's going to be like a superhero response, but instead Captain America says, yeah, I know, but that's why I'm driving. So jump in the truck next to us and I'll drive the truck. And he drives off. And I just thought, that's a real nice kind of grounded response kind of thing. So I thought that was quite cool.
That's a very Sam. I feel like that's a very Sam trait.
Yeah, exactly.
He just tells it how it is and just
like the truck driver isn't a bad guy. But he obviously treated it. Well, he will be responsible for the crash down the line. So, 100%. I thought it is cheesy, but it's nice. It's good. I like it.
It's cool. Speaking of cheesy, Misery. Fuck me. Anybody read this?
Nah.
So this is basically your Marvel comic response now to everybody gets a Symbiote, and in fact she gets two. Yeah. So this is exactly. So this is Liz Allen. And she's got Anti-Venom and Carnage now is on
a
her.
blend.
You know, yeah. And then by the end of this issue, there's the bad guys who've got every other version of Venom that's been around, all in one suit. It's just shit. It's awful.
Rainbow Venom.
Rainbow Venom, yeah.
Rainbow.
Whereas Hallows Eve, I've been thoroughly enjoying. Again, a very simple, straightforward miniseries. Not a great deal to think about. Basically, she's got a bag with Halloween masks in it. When she puts a different Halloween mask on, she gets their powers. So if she wears the werewolf mask, she becomes a werewolf. If she wears a vampire mask, it becomes a vampire, that kind of thing. It's just a fun, easy read. So recommend that one. Probably is one of my favorite Spider-Man related titles at the moment. Who wants to take a lead on Scarlet Witch? I mean, before you do, I'm just going to say Agatha. Yeah.
Yep, she'll do for me.
Yeah. Good. Did you read this one, Ben?
Dirty fuckers. I did, yeah.
Anybody got any positive to say about this?
It was that kind of it was contrived wittiness is what I felt it was aiming towards. Like it was trying to kind of replicate, I think, that kind of MCU banter. You know,
it was that.
Yeah, it really was. But
hated Darcy in this because of exactly that. I just thought she was just so irritating.
But gorgeous artwork. Like it looked absolutely beautiful. Like, and I guess that's kind of its biggest selling point, to be honest. And just like I didn't understand if like Agatha was like a threat or not. Like I didn't really understand her kind of intentions throughout. They were kind of like bantering one moment, and then Agatha the next moment was kind of like like, and it kind of did that about 3 times, and I was like, like what is this for?
Yeah, like where does she stand? Is she good, bad? What is she, her friend, foe?
I mean, it ended with a so I'm guessing she's bad, but it was just didn't play out like that throughout.
It felt to me like she was testing. She was testing the Scarlet Witch to see if she was capable of withholding the Chthon, the Elder God, and because she's going to use her as a kind of a weapon. That's where I sort of took it. For me, I was looking for words to sort of explain and express what the sort of writing was like, and I think it was contrived wittiness is probably the best way to describe it. I thought the artwork was good, but it felt very Disney-esque. It was almost too clean. I would have loved Nick Klein to do the artwork for this, because I guess when I talk about Scarlet Witch, I want to see the horror of Scarlet Witch. I want to see that tortured soul. You know what I mean? That's my Incredible Hulk. I want to find out about her tortured past and stuff like that. It's too nice.
This felt to me, because I haven't read Scarlet Witch for a long time, so I might be totally off with the character, but that's what I was expecting, Andy. I was expecting the kind of the horror element kind of stuff. This felt a little bit Buffy the Vampire Slayer in later seasons, where they've got the nice little street, they've got the magic shop, you know, they've got look, this baddie of the week might come along, and it just felt it's an annual, and I guess the purpose of an annual quite often is to try and encourage you to pick up the ongoing series. Absolutely not. I'm not interested in the slightest of reading any more of this shit.
Go on, Phil.
It's like who, you know, I'm sure there's a comic for everyone, but who would be interested in this? Like, I don't mean that to be like a real dick to the comic. I just meant like, is there a big market for Scarlet Witch? You know, I wouldn't have thought there was a big kind of following.
I think from the Marvel movies. So Lottie, I think she's 11 now, is a big Scarlet Witch fan. But I don't know if she would read this. Do you know what I mean? She likes the kind of this. I don't know.
But again, speech bubbles galore. You know, like this could, on the surface, be a great book for someone like Lottie. But you know, I look at this book and how, you know, kind of how many exchanges they actually have throughout, and it definitely would put people off. It's funny you say about Buffy. Like, Buffy's like, so she runs this shop right now, and I kind of, in my head, I would want that shop looking kind of rustic and like Buffy's always look kind of lived in. And you think of like Ray's occult books or whatever. It's all dusty and like this just looks like an office. It looked like an office from outside.
Give us a skull with a candle on it, melting slowly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what I want. But yeah. No, so I mean, this is a no for me.
Llewellyn Bowen to like go in and give it a makeover.
James T is just saying, nice they gave a black finger so people come for a moment won't be confused. I didn't even notice that, to be honest, James. But yeah, you're right in some of the images there. Since WandaVision, she's one of Marvel's most popular characters. Interesting. Hi, Ian. Nice of you to join, bud. Okay, so I think we can leave that one.
Where's the stats for that, James? Where have you got that? That's a very sweeping statement he just bloody made.
ScarletWitch.com.org.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to come back to you, Ben, because I know you've read this one. Did anybody else read Godzilla? No. I'm going to let Ben tell you a little bit about it, but I'll start off by saying I thought this was frigging great. I
Hell yeah.
Just a joy to read. Right, Ben, tell me what it's about.
I mean, there's not too much to tell, to be honest. It's pirates and Godzilla. It's Godzilla. It's a period piece. We don't know much yet. Essentially, the story's kind of told from the point of view of a prisoner who is telling his guards, and the guards are obviously like the English or whatever, and the prisoner's like a pirate, and he's telling this tale of some previous pirates that were having this adventure and stuff, and then obviously Zilla pops out at the end. So we don't know too much. I think Monster Island is basically where the pirates are kind of stumbled across. But just such a fantastic concept. And I know we've spoke a lot about having a Predator film like with pirates, and that's great. But now I've got the idea of like Godzilla makes so much more sense because of its kind of ocean setting and kind of island setting and stuff like that. Like it just and like I mean this cover alone was just worth.
What's the artwork like, Ben? Is it similar to the cover, or is it?
It's not similar. Like it's this is kind of quite portraity, whereas it's very comic booky. But it's like it's very inoffensive art. Like I wouldn't say it's spectacular art, but I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just very good, serviceable comic book artwork.
I got Jack Sparrow vibes at the start. Did you?
Oh yeah,
that kind of,
he literally looks like Jack Sparrow. I was like, wow, Disney's lawyers will be in touch.
Is Phil okay? Phil, okay?
I feel that's uncanny. I like that. I agree with Ben 100%. This was great. And also, if you pick this up, guys, at the back, I think it's got some of the variant covers, or it might be online. I looked at them. And some of the variants for this are really impressive as well.
So cool. So cool.
I just think it's going to be a fun series.
And I'm sat here and like Toho, like there's rumors that it's not going to be Shin Godzilla 2, like it's going to be a new film for them, and I'm just like something like this would just be so fresh and so different, and you could almost go back to your roots with like a dude in a suit, and I'd love it.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Just going to quickly jump to the comments, guys, before we move on to those next few books. Where do we get to? Suddenly Comics, thanks for joining, bud. She's interesting because she's an anti-hero and can be bad and can be good. Yeah, I didn't get much of that in this version, to be honest. But yeah, I really don't get the Wanda hype, if I'm honest. Yeah, agree. James's most popular female character, Iman. He's backtracking. Dr. Von Hoot, banging Godzilla cover. Oh, we've got Chris. Nice to see you, Chris. Thank you very much for joining, bud. We've got Andy doing a Godzilla.
Godzilla.
My Zilla poster up there.
Yeah, Jack, I think you've sold Jack on reading that one, so he'll be picking that up.
Yes.
Oh, Ben, you should read Godzilla Rage Against Time. Not heard of that one.
Rings a bell. I think I might have read that book.
I thought Phil was having a fit. It's always Godzilla.
Worst Jack Sparrow impression I've ever seen.
But it was my best one though, so that
I thought, Phil, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I thought that was a very
clip it.
Okay. All 8 eyes. Anybody been reading this?
No.
No.
Wasn't on the list, Peter. Come
No,
on,
no,
wasn't on the
no. I
list.
just blast through loads, man. So again, really simple story. Basically, big spiders, and you got to kill them. That's about it, really. So, big spiders are in the city, and they hide from kind of people until they jump out and eat you. The government knows about them, but don't want to panic people. So this is a story of a guy whose family was killed by this giant tarantula thing, and they go out hunting giant spiders. It's only, I think it's a 4-issue miniseries. I've been really enjoying it. It's a dead easy read. Star Wars Bounty Hunters. I read this because Andy put a Star Wars book on the list, and I knew I wanted to read more. Anybody else read Bounty Hunters?
I have it stacked. I haven't been reading it, but I have it stacked to read.
I used to read it. I dropped off about 12 issues or so ago. It was just too much.
So I probably suffered picking this up because I haven't got the back history to the books. So there's lots of characters in this I didn't have a clue about. But it was an all right story. Basically, a team of bounty hunters go find Fett. They have your traditional kind of battle, which was pretty good. And then they ask Fett to join them in a team at the end of it. Will I pick up the next issue? Probably not.
Is that Dirge?
Dirge, as in it's shit. That's what I use the term dirge for. What do you mean by dirge?
Dirge is he was character in the Clone Wars. He's kind of like a organic being that he's like invulnerable basically because he's just like a squid thing that can regenerate and stuff.
I'm just
he's in
going
that
to say yes.
armor in the back, but I think that's him
yes,
anyway. I didn't know he was in this. Okay, just say yes.
Yeah, James T. Keegan's been reading this and he says Valance is badass. I have no idea who that is.
He's the dude with the robot face.
Oh yeah, he's half robot. Yeah,
guy.
he mopes around a lot at the start of this, and yeah.
I've never got the Valance hype. Like, like why they brought him back. Like, if you're gonna bring back anyone, bring back Jackson.
To be fair, I always thought Holly Valance was a really good pop star. She's really good in Neighbours.
Don't know if I'm
incredible in Neighbours. Incredible in Neighbours. Yeah. Just going to quickly say hello to Emin. Thank you very much for joining. James is just saying he jumped into some of Bounty Hunters while reading War of the Bounty Hunters. Going to go back and read the lot. Love the vibe.
Yeah, that's when I stopped after War of the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. What happened to reading and discussing 5 comics? We did read and discuss 5 comics all together, and I'm reading other comics as well. Valance is badass, and yes, Dirge was just brought into canon recently. Dirge me. Yeah. Andy, what the holy fuck? Why did you make this? Why did you make this read?
I didn't notice that panel.
I'm so angry and upset at Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney. This isn't the worst panel. I actually sent another panel, and my words to the guys were, "What the is this all about?"
She looks like a filter.
This comic wasn't even like a sort of rehashing of The Mandalorian. It was exactly the exact story, panel to panel, frame to frame, and it's exactly what happened in the first episode. And bear them in, guys. That episode aired in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, I can't understand why Marvel would go to a couple of creators and say, "Guys, do you want to do a comic?" And they're like, "Oh, absolutely, let's do a comic." And then they just, basically watch episode 1 and redraw it and retell the story. It's a complete waste of time. I'm upset, guys. I'm upset. I need somebody to explain what I missed. The artwork, atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
Can I just say though, sorry, the artwork actually, apart from that panel, I actually quite enjoyed. I thought it was quite nice, other than this panel. But what I will say, I did quite enjoy the book. But like as you said before, like we've seen it before. It's nothing new. They're literally just retelling the story from the episode. Like there's no creativity involved whatsoever.
So this is what upsets us. So when we're coming up with which books to read and all the rest of it. When we're coming up with which books to read, Andy sent this one over, suggested this one, and I had a quick look. It's written by Rodney Barnes. Now, if it's the same Rodney Barnes, that's the guy who does Philadelphia, Blackula stuff. He's a phenomenal writer. Yeah. Phenomenal writer. And this is just literally, like you say,
copy and paste, isn't it?
Copy and paste. I cannot get my head around it. It's.
Look, I'm going to come to its defense a little bit, right? So when if you're a 12-year-old, 10-year-old kid, whatever, and you go to the off license and you see this and it's like exactly what it is in the show, then that's something that I probably would have quite enjoyed. I think for us as adult readers, we just read this and we're like, well, we'll just stick the show on and watch the show because it's
comics aren't for kids, Ben.
I'm sorry. So I always forget. Also, we're taking the piss out of panels, right? Let's just take a moment to drink in chubby Grogu on that cover.
Yeah.
Look at his little jaw. Look at his jowl.
You trying to squeeze those little cheeks, don't you?
It's lockdown Grogu.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about?
I mean, this is my favourite comment of the night.
No, this is the thing. I feel now that I've improved, that I can give.
Yeah, you have the nose now, so you're better.
I can give this art a bit of stick now because it's not as good as what I would do. I would do better than that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's shocking though that's got past an editor.
Yep.
Like multiple editors probably who have signed off on that.
But as Andy was saying, the episode was 2 years ago. Like it's not like they had to rush this out to meet a deadline. They had plenty of time to go back and fix it. Why is it being released?
That middle panel as well, it's like she's saying, I guess a lot has changed since you were last in Moss, and he's looking at her going, yeah, your face.
Horrendous. I mean, do you know what?
So
being really honest, art aside, I was bored reading this because, like you say, it's a 2-year-old TV series I've seen. Had I not seen that episode, fair enough, it might have kept us entertained. But if I'm honest, I flicked the end battle bit because that was the.
I didn't read it because I watched the episode like a month ago. I was like, oh.
It should have been renamed Adaptation. That's what it should have been, and it shouldn't have been sold on the basis that it was the first comic appearance of Cobb Vanth, because that's just a money spinner.
That's what it is. Even with Volume 1 of this Mandalorian series, it was the first Grogu in comic form, and people bought it up as a speculation book. But like, I think, is that the reason why they brought it out like this? Why couldn't they just start it off after season 3? Give us something, a different story.
Or give us side stories.
It'll fail. Just give something different.
I mean, what I will say,
if you see that variant from E.M. Geist, it's stunning, like of Cobb Vanth. Like that'll sell like hotcakes.
Yeah. What I will say for it is, now that Ben's mentioned chubby little Grogu there, I can't take my eyes off him. He just looks his little round head. Yeah, not a one. I'll not be picking up issue 2. I don't know about you guys, but
no,
it's not
I know what happens. It's not going to be a surprise.
Yeah,
I kind of want to just to see if there are any other panels like this. Like
we should do a segment of just those faces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Worst panel of the week. Killer Comics new feature.
I love it. Crackers. Wanted to touch on this very quickly. This is Edge of Spider-Verse issue 3. Introduction of Spider Smasher, who is Miles Morales' sister from another universe where Miles gets killed. Quite an interesting character. The big selling point for this is we finally find out who Spider-Boy is, and it's about as interesting as Ditchwater. I think, based on the comments, he's about 9 years old or something. Ridiculous like that. And his name, I can't read it, that's too small. Bailey Briggs, yeah. I don't know if Bailey Briggs is a character from Marvel in the past. I didn't recognize the name. Yeah, not interested.
See, this is the thing. I have a problem with the Age of Spider-Verse stuff because I read the first one that came out maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah,
of this kind of run. It was rubbish, to be honest. It was rubbish. But I
think that one with the T-Rex.
Yeah, I think they just do this to kind of have new characters, which is fair enough, but nothing really comes from them, really.
I did enjoy the last issue, with Spider's what's called Web Spinner, where it was like a Disney princess version. That was quite cool. You
never know though. Like, I don't think when Spider-Gwen first appeared, Revolut, I think it took a while for that to kind of catch wind. So who knows? But on paper, I didn't even realize this was Dan Slott, Humberto Ramos. That's like my favorite creative team. So so I'm disappointed to hear it's not good.
Not the best. Okay, guys, that's all of our comics. Is there any other comics anybody wanted to mention that they might have read?
I have just caught up on issue 4 of Riddler Year One,
Not read
written
any of
by
that yet.
Paul Dano, as a kind of prequel for the film. It's sensational. Like, I always play the Batman soundtrack when I'm reading it as well, and it's so fucking, like, it just completely captures the kind of like moody, kind of depressive, like, and like all the kind of psychological like torment that the Riddlers go through. Just like it's just poured into the pages with this like horrible abstract art. Did want to show you this panel though. I shared it on my Instagram earlier, but let me see if I can.
Oh yeah.
This is Baby Riddler. It just tickled me
Oh,
for
right.
about a good 10 minutes. But yeah, no, honestly, I would highly recommend it to anyone who's a fan of that film.
Is that a
'cause it's,
mini series or is it an ongoing?
mini series, so it's going to
Okay.
finish on I think it's 6.
Okay.
But yeah, just really twisted and you know, Paul Dano, considering he's sort of, you know, not, this isn't his medium, it's just outstanding.
I might pick that one. That's the kind of book I would tend to pick up as a nice hardback or something like that. So I might get that later on.
Same.
I did read Wild's End, issue number 1 from Boom Studios. It's written by Dan Abnett. And this is kind of like
Andy, did I start reading that? And was it like lots of animals on a boat?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Not enjoy it. I summed it up by it's Wind in the Willows meets the X-Files.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best way that I could explain it.
Wind in the Willows meets the X-Files.
I tell you, if that would intrigue you to consume this bad boy.
That should be on the cover, and it would sell a lot more, I think.
I thought it was really good. I loved the artwork, and I think it was a little bit of a welcome relief after having to experience The Mandalorian and Scarlet Witch. I kind of left that to the last, so that was kind of a like ice in the cake for me.
I think maybe I was comicked out by that point because I think that was the last book I started to read. I think I got about 5 pages in, thought, I can't be doing with this.
It's a read, like there's lots, and it's not an easy read either. It could be easily be a novel, but definitely give it a try. Try and get beyond those 5 pages.
Yeah, I might give that one a go. Anything else from you, Phil?
That's a big no. I am so far behind in a lot of my series I'm picking up. So, and like I say, I was told to read 5. I thought that was 5 too much. You know, not sure.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you very much, gents. Just quickly jump to the chat before we call it a night. Grogu looks like he's eating all of them eggs out of the jar. Pat Bear, Jesus, how many edges does the Spider-Verse have? This is the 3rd series now. Yeah, it's just ongoing forever and ever, isn't it? Jack, read the Mighty Barbarians. I said it the other week, I'm sure, but I'm really enjoying it. I still haven't read that one, Jack. I'll have to pick that one up. James T, I listen to soundtracks when I read comics too. Cheers, ASJ. That sounds like my type of thing. Good stuff. ABZ, evening, gents. Thank you very much for joining. Read all 5 issues. Excuse me, of The Last Barbarian today. Still an awesome read. Yeah, I'll have to pick that one up. Efren, keep on going, Peter. And segue to our show. Yeah, certainly will. Okay, speaking of Efren, if you like comic book content, please do check out this. This is a video myself and Efren did just the other day. This is looking at the advanced orders that are available to order in June, which will come out, is it August time, I think. Some great books there. That's X-Men cover, X-Men and Avengers cover is absolutely phenomenal. Alex Ross, tempted to pick up the lithograph of that. It's stunning. So please check that out. He's put that video out today. And Efren earlier in the week did a show called What You've Been Reading, which is looking at next week's comics. So again, please do check that out. 10 o'clock, we're live again. So we've got 45 minutes to go and grab an ice cream. And then we'll go live again with some more bits and bobs. And please don't forget, I heard that, Ben, yeah. Please don't forget, on Saturday, I'm going to be interviewing the attention-seeking geek and putting him through his paces, asking him some challenging questions.
Oh.
Okay, that's your whack. So, can I just say a massive thank you to everybody that's been on the panel tonight. You guys have been great, so thank you. Do appreciate you reading those books and giving your thoughts. And a huge thank you to everybody that's been in the chat. It's been pumping, jumping again. So I really do appreciate that. And we'll call it a night. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Bye.